Hi, everybody. Liz Kahn here with Dr. James Jernigan of Cornerstone Chiropractic. I'm here today to actually ask Dr. James a couple of questions, mostly because you seem really tired today.
I'm so awake right now.
But I mean,
no, yeah,
there's so
sure.
much. There's been a lot going on here at the office.
Yeah. It's been amazing.
It's been amazing.
Yeah.
Is it all amazing?
It is. So this morning I got in at 7. First patient was at 7:45, and it is 5 o'clock right now, and just had our one time, quick 15 minutes, 10 minutes to do a video, and I was just saying before, I was like, hey, this is my first time to take a breath.
Which concerns me a lot. Now look at this guy. He's all smiles. He's happy to be here.
Yeah.
So excited. But I'm going to take it to this next level where it's like, what's going on for you? Now you've had all these changes. There's been an explosion in this.
There has, and it's been amazing.
It's great. So what happens? You get pretty much everything that you set out to get.
Right.
Is it everything you hoped it would be?
Yeah, I love it. And I think I said it probably a month ago when it was a lot less busy, and I was just like, I don't know how I can keep up. Like, can I keep this? And people say, well, you're open Monday through Thursday. That's like the dream,
right?
But then also just like being honest and being real is like, I wake up at 6 o'clock in the morning and I leave the house at 7:15, and I don't get back until 8 o'clock or 7:45, and so it's literally all day going,
right?
And so the reality of it is those are 4 days that are just jam packed, and then Friday, Saturday, Sunday, I'm still doing office stuff, doing, working on practice.
And so what would you tell a patient of yours that was going for like 12 hours a day? What kind of cautions would you give? Like, yes, you're going to get everything that you have worked so hard to achieve. This is not like, hey, let's just throw a bunch of people at you. You've worked for this.
Right.
So what you want, what would you tell somebody to look out for? We got to pay attention to these warning signs because we're kind of riding this wonderful wave. And so even when things are wonderful, if we're not paying attention, we can really hurt ourselves.
Absolutely. I would say number one thing is you have to have a support system. Like what are you doing proactively while you're going? Because if not, then that's great. You can do that for 5 years and then you're wrecked. And so it's like I take really good care of myself along the process. Right. And a lot of it is through what you do is like you're talking about, questions, keeping, your focus in, keeping your focus on the right, path and where you want to go and being aware of those changes. Like you say, and we both talk about, it's like reading your body,
So you're very good at picking up on some of those things when you're like, oh, wait a minute, that's not quite where I'm supposed to be right now.
Yeah.
And, I think it's the difference. It makes the difference between being whelmed and being overwhelmed, right? Yeah. So all of this influx, all of these great, wonderful new clients, new patients that are coming
amazing
through.
Testimonials, like the things that I've been praying for the last 7 years are like,
they're here.
They're happening. And it's like such a celebration moment. And that celebration, like the things that you've been praying for, the things that you've been hoping for, that you're dreaming, goals, objectives, like once you start to live in that, then it's funny how your body switches it to like, oh, I have to, or I don't know how I'm going to be able to do this. And then it's like, it starts to be like a burden. Right. But if you can keep your focus on the right and understanding those little cues and triggers, right, then you can start to catch it before it happens. You can be more proactive with it and realize, wow, I'm living in the blessings that I've been, I always say, I wake up in the morning and I say, I think, I like praying, I thank God for the answered prayers and the hard work of yesterday, because that's where I get to live today. Right.
And there's something that's really beautiful about that. I think a lot of people tend to talk to, like, and in my world, I tend to talk to a lot of people who are struggling with this. And this is the type of thing that, we're going to work on how you're talking to yourself, and you're going to work on, once you get the things you want, how are you thinking about them? I worked with a guy a long time ago. I think I've said this before, when you get to that new place, it shouldn't feel normal. But I think a lot of us start to think, well, how come it doesn't feel normal? I did all this to get here. Well, because it's new and it's different, and it shouldn't feel normal. It also shouldn't be paralyzing, and it shouldn't be terrifying. Yes. And a lot of that has to do with how you're talking to yourself and how you show up. So the
Mhm.
fact that you start your mornings
Yeah.
with a prayer, with
Morning
a
routine.
gratitude,
Mhm.
right?
And we talk all the time, and Liz and I, we geek out about the science. We just love, like neurology, the physiology. We love that. And when you talk, a lot of times you want to talk about the brain and how it, interlays with like the muscles and everything. And I love it. What I do is I geek out on the psychology, like your focus, because I just realized that when you have the foundation set, and I talk a lot about foundation, Cornerstone Chiropractic is like building your life, building your health on a strong foundation. And when you have these things in place, I think when you own your mindset, your intentions, like that is the most crucial, because there's been people with like, it's like if that's it, all those things, they enable you to do the things that you love. And that's what I'm really chasing. And so chiropractic for me is a powerful tool that I can use to get people to become who they were created to be. Like that's my like deepest. Yeah. And so for me, there's 4 things that I really focus on. Faith, my intentions, my focus. What is my mindset when it comes to health and taking care of myself? So that's the first F, if you will.
It's faith and mindset around health.
Yes,
okay,
absolutely. Like this would be like the foundation to build a strong health.
The north corner.
Right? Yep.
There we go.
So then it comes to function, which is the nervous system, how your body's designed to heal, and it is designed to heal. And when you enable it to do that by giving it what it needs and minimize what it doesn't, it's designed to do just that. So that's faith, function, fuel. Are you giving your body the proper, and I can't take credit for this. I can't take credit for it.
Well, and the fuel component, I'm going to let you get back to it, but like I know so many people who just rolled their eyes right there, right? I want you to reset that thinking, because the fuel is so important.
Well, it's like in wrestling, my coach, like this is like one thing that my coach always just like hit on was like, are you eating to live or are you living to eat? And in wrestling, I was like, I want to eat, everything, anything and everything. And so, but really diving into that, it's like, there's people that have really, really nice cars, and they go to the gas station and they put in the most expensive fuel in it. Why? Because they want it to work at its best. But then they stop right after the gas station and they go to get, McDonald's or, like a quick food, and they're giving themselves the worst amount of nutrition and like the lowest amount. And I just think if we can start to shift from food to fuel, not saying 100% perfect, right? Like I love my carbs, right? But if I can shift it to fuel, then when I give my body the high quality nutrients and what it needs, it's designed to keep up and keep doing and healing at its best. And then the 4th F would be fitness. And so are you moving? Are you moving properly? And so really with food or the fuel and the fitness, the flip side of that would be the chemicals in our society.
Oh, wow.
Right? If we did a 4-day seminar, we would just be scratching the surface with the amount of toxins in our environment that we're putting on.
And it would be a boring seminar because we'd just be listing them.
So bad, yeah. So like on the flip side of good high quality nutrients would be the bad chemicals that we're putting in our body. And so minimize what you don't need. Give your body what it needs, and it's designed to heal.
Yeah. Having foundation like that, you probably don't have many bad days. But when you do have a bad day, like, what do you do? I
would say being 100% transparent.
That's
most mornings are bad mornings. Like, if I wake up, it's like, because like I go, for 14 hours and then I go and then I just like fall asleep, and then when I wake up, it's like instantly my body's like, and that's why I have a morning routine in place. So I might have a bad morning or a harder morning or, like a slower, but that's why I wake up a little bit earlier to like get myself going. But I don't allow myself to have a bad day. And I'm going to be completely honest. I don't have bad days.
Yeah. You've got the tools.
The mornings are tough. And when we implement what you say, and that's why I'm so like, like this is what I've been doing for 7 years to get to the point where even if it's a really tough morning or, maybe a few days ago, it was like super tough and it took me an hour and a half, but by the time I got into the office, it was like best day of the world, right? Because I've prepared myself and I've done it over and over again so that I can have that life.
Well, and it's interesting that you say that because there's one thing like when in the morning, I know sometimes your mornings are alone and so it's hard when you don't have somebody there. Yeah. But then you come in here and you've got this community of people.
Absolutely.
And so there is something about connection that is huge when it comes to those tougher times.
Yeah.
So we have the 4-Post Foundation.
4 pillars.
We have community connection. We have this recognition that you actually do have the power to make the decision whether or not to have a good or bad day, whether or not to be overwhelmed. And so I'm looking at our time and I'm thinking, now's a good time to remind you that we are here.
We want to be a resource.
We are a resource. We've got a lot of phenomenal evidence-based. That means science, right? We've done the research. We know the research. It's good. We can find the ways to help you get to wherever it is you want to go, physically, emotionally, on so many levels. Because if it's not with us, we have resources just like tendrils all throughout this community. And it's so exciting. So come and be a part of us.
Absolutely. One of the main reasons why we do this
the action step.
is for the action step so that you can do a small little change every single day that's going to over time drastically change your life. And a lot of times instantly can change, like your
there are some things
right now.
Yeah.
Another thing that we want to do is we just want to connect with you.
Mm-hmm.
And part of us doing these videos is like we're at about 12 minutes right now is this is us.
Yeah.
This is just always us. We try to be authentic, as authentic and as transparent as possible because, that's the best. And, but then you get to see if we resonate with you.
Yeah.
That is huge.
Yeah.
Right? Like,
I think it's huge.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to throw out my little, I know, right? Well, and you just had somebody this morning who said, I saw you on the video and I said, that's the doctor I want to see.
Yeah.
And that is it's a huge honor. We love that. So your action step for today is to connect with us. Connect with us on Facebook. Connect with us. Send us a message here or on Facebook, wherever you can find us. But do it and say that you saw this video. Send us some love. We're going to send it right back to you. Absolutely. So I think that's a good action step for today.
Yeah.
All right, guys.
Perfect.
We love you.
Yeah, take care.